Okay, so in my Monday morning update from over here in Mallorca, well, we've got an update to last week's story about the new rules at hotel check-in. I've got good news about that and bad news as well, but unfortunately it's not a complete scrapping of the scheme. We're also going to find out what you think about it too. Plus, I've got big news from over here in Magaluf, where I am at the moment. It's regarding one of the main attractions here in the resort closing early. I also have a weather forecast for the week ahead, but stick with me because we're going to leave the Fudanetta Beach Cafe where I am at the moment. I'm going to take a walk up the beach because I've got some more breaking news for you too, and this may well affect your holiday too. But we're going to start over here talking about the new hotel check-in rules as well, which I mentioned last week in last week's video update. And this is regarding the disproportionate amount of personal information that hotels are going to be asking from you when you check into a hotel over here in Spain. And we're not just talking Mallorca here, we're talking about the whole of Spain, so it applies to every single hotel. It's a rule actually that came into force. It was a royal decree that was made on the 27th of October in 2021. It was actually listed in the BOE, in the official state bulletin. It was scheduled to be enforced on the 1st of October, which is actually tomorrow. Now, we did hear last week that this has now been delayed, that the enforcement of the requesting of this kind of information has been delayed until December. And the kind of information that is being asked for is for guests over the age of 14, and it includes things like a passport address, an ID, email address, credit card details to be inputted on a completely separate platform and kept, and I didn't know this, for up to 3 years. So if you actually want to see what kind of information is going to be asked of you when you check into a hotel in Spain, as of December onwards, if it doesn't get delayed or scrapped, I'm just going to put a few pointers on screen here just to give you an idea of the level of information that's going to be asked for. And again, this has all been listed in the official state bulletin. Now, if you are travelling to the island on business as well, you're going to be asked for even more information too. You're going to be asked about your business, email address, website address, tax number, all that kind of information too. So just to warn you about that, a little bit different from what's required of holidaymakers. But at present, as you know as well, it is illegal to check into a hotel in Spain without some kind of official ID like a passport. So while the hotels are asking for all this personal information about credit card details and ID, they actually have to also put it into this separate government platform and held by the Home Office as a security measure. Now, the reaction here has not been positive, and I'm talking about the reaction from the Association of Hotels and Accommodation Services in Spain. They issued a press release when the delay was announced, and they said that they are unanimously against this measure, and they insist that a review should be carried out and that the extension announced by the Ministry of the Interior points to a problem with the technology. In other words, it doesn't work. Now, any resident, anyone living here in Spain will know that the kind of system that they're using here, and that it's this central government system. We use it for paperwork over here when you're applying for certain certificates or bits of information that you need for residential matters. It's just a horrible platform, and for hoteliers to then have to separately input this kind of level of information, maybe it's bugging out, maybe it's not working, who knows. But the Spanish hoteliers and employees emphasise that this rejection of the royal decree is widespread and unanimous. And it's not just on the national level, but also on the European level too, from all the travel agencies as well, and people sending holidays to Spain. I mean, nobody thinks that this is in any way a good idea. But I just have to point out as well that some hotels are actually using this system at the moment, and you just don't know about it. So while they are taking your passport information, many of them are actually already putting the information into this national security system, and you just didn't know about it. So there's one thing taking the information, like I said, and using it for the hotel's legal purposes. There's another matter of actually putting it into this national database. So in the meantime, this delay has not meant a total scrapping of the invasion of a privacy rule. It's just meant a 3-month delay, and a delay of the enforcement that hotels have to actually input this information onto the platform. And most hotels, like I said, are doing it because they're all preparing for the 1st of October, so many are doing it anyway. I'll keep you posted with updates about this. So Like I normally say, consider subscribing to the channel. I'll let you know what happens on the run up to December, whether this is going to be completely in force across the board, whether you're checking in for your Airbnb, whether you're checking in for your hotel, and also as well it's for car rental too, which I didn't know before. So if you're renting a car, you're going to have to provide all that information too. Now, I've also been asked as well for official information about this. I'll drop a link below to the official state bulletin, to the BOE report all about this. Pop it into Google Translate because it is obviously in Spanish. But it's not just over here where it's happening, because one viewer said that it's already happening in Italy. And he said that in Italy, hotels and Airbnbs ask for a copy of an ID card to submit on the government platform too. Also, Robert Black comments that Turkey already has this in place for next year in terms of fingerprints and the biometric photograph too. If you're staying longer than 90 days, you have to provide a UK criminal record check translated into Turkish and notarized. So just before you start saying, oh, it's better in Turkey, might not be the case actually. In the meantime as well, I've read comments left on the channel which I can only describe as being an all-out revolt against the request for this type of information. So if you're watching this from the Ministry of the Interior and from the Spanish Home Office, if I were you, just have a read through the comments on last week's video, maybe check some of the comments below as well, because all of this could lead towards being what I can only describe as being some kind of tourism killer over here in Spain. Because, just to give you an idea of the comments, Rob Gregory says, Spain, no thanks, I won't be coming back. Subscriber RowT3 says, well, after a lifetime of coming to Spain and the Balearics, no more. That's it. And I know a lot of people are saying the same now. Christy said, guess we'll be going somewhere else next year. Brian said, if I have to give this information, I will not be returning to Mallorca as now. This is just going overboard. Lee says, go to Greece or Portugal. You get the added benefit of being treated like a guest, not in the swimming pool. Les Paul said, this is way out of order, and if this goes on, I will not be coming again. Anne says, and she says this in caps, so that's shouty caps, a no-go area for us from now on. Also, Teresa Logan says, definitely won't be back next year and we'll go somewhere else. It's sad because I've been going to Mallorca for 30 years. Well, hopefully, Teresa, you won't be going to the rest of Spain either, because it applies to all the other Spanish resorts and all the other Spanish islands too. Martin says, well, that's me and the family not coming to Mallorca again. Absolutely ridiculous. Like I said, it's a Spain-wide thing, not a Mallorca thing. And literally, I've had just hundreds of comments from last week's video all about this. Go and read them. If you're in the Home Office, like I said, go and check them out as well. But just look what you're doing to tourism here. It's not great, really. It's not great. So what about the main issue with this is that the privacy and the hacking concerns as well, which I mentioned last week. Marcus Smith said, and he says that there are huge risks typing credit card details into a computer. For example, you can use a USB keylogger that a staff member can plug in at the start of the shift with screen recorder software. Therefore, you're collecting all that data. A CCTV camera also records the keyboard and the screen, and it's also hard to detect. So again, that's very, very risky. Another subscriber said, I'd be more worried about where and who has access to my card details. Don't forget as well, all of this information has the potential to be sold on too. Alan says, never hand over your card or let it out of your sight, and never allow details or a photocopy of it to be taken. Just don't do it. If you go against this, then there's an issue you have with no protection, and you possibly breach the conditions of the issue and the use of the credit card. It's not identification, so just don't do it. Alternatively, Dennis said, and I suspect if all of this goes ahead in December, we're going to be talking about the workarounds on this as well. He said it could be addressed by just taking a separate Revolt Visa card or a Wise card or something like that, which you top up before your trip, and then cancel it when you get back as well. Top tip is you can freeze it instantly from your phone if you lose or mislay it. So maybe you just want to have a separate card for going on holiday. But I've also had lots of questions too, which actually I can't answer, such as one from Jackie, what happens if you only take cash? Who knows? Another viewer said, I don't own a mobile. Will you even be able to check into a hotel if you don't have a mobile? Once again, up to the Ministry of the Interior to answer those questions for us. So hopefully we're going to see all of these issues being addressed, things like handing over your credit card information and them holding this information for 3 years as well. I mean, it's just absolutely incredible. So let's see what happens with that. It may all end up getting scrapped as well. I don't know. Maybe it does infringe personal data rules. I don't know, but we'll find out. I'll keep you updated as we roll on towards December. Anyway, I'm going to end on a positive note because KH6543 says, nothing can deter me from Mallorca. It's heaven on earth, in my opinion. Okay, so we'll leave that behind for now. Hopefully we'll get some more information about it in the future, but we're going to look at a major attraction over here in Mallorca, which is actually closed quite suddenly for the season as well. And we're talking about Pirates Adventure, Pirates Reloaded and the Gringos Bingo show as well. And also the legendary Halloween show, which normally takes place on at the end of October. All of this is not going ahead during the month of October, and Pirates is now closed for summer 2024. So if you're coming on holiday and you've already bought tickets, well, you should have already received a refund. If not, you're going to get that in the next couple of days. And in fact, I got an email as well from Pirates this morning, and they said, due to unforeseen operational reasons, we've had to take the decision not to proceed with our October shows. Our team has been working tirelessly since Friday to inform customers individually that we'll be issuing a full refund. For the most part, the majority have already been processed our side, and we expect that all refunds should be completed between today, that's the 30th of September, and tomorrow. Furthermore, for all affected bookings, we have offered a 20% discount if they'd like to book with us again next year, which is really good to hear. It's just a shame though if you're actually coming over on holiday specifically to see that show. But yeah, that's the news. Pirates is closed now for summer 2024, which leads us on to the weather forecast for the week ahead. Well, you can see behind me, it's absolutely gorgeous over here in Magaluf at the moment. I have to say, we've got absolutely perfect beach weather in my opinion. It's just a little bit cooler. It means you can literally spend all day on the beach. So we're looking at a largely sunny week ahead. However, we do have a risk of showers island-wide on Thursday PM and on Thursday morning, as well as a 75% chance of showers on the island on Friday too. But it could actually be sunny in one resort and it could be showery in another. It's this kind of time of year in autumn where you're not going to get blanket rain across the whole island. You might just find one resort to be a little bit showery. If that's the case, hop on the bus, hop into your hire car and just go somewhere where it's sunny for a few hours, and that weather normally does clear. Now, we don't have any storm warnings for this week. If we do get them, of course I'll post about them on the Mallorca Under the Sun Facebook group, so go ahead and join that if you're over here on holiday as well. I'll let you know if we have anything to worry about later on in the week, but we've got the perfect temperatures. We've got highs of 26. A little bit chilly on the evening because the lows are getting down to 14 degrees, but like I said, it's an absolutely perfect time to come over here on holiday. Okay, so we're going to leave the Fusionetta Cafe now. I'm going to just finish off my coffee, my iced coffee, and we're going to head for a walk up the beach. And I've got some breaking news for you with regards to what's going on the Magaluf seafront. Okay, so my final piece of breaking news comes from over here on Magaluf beachfront, and it is that even before the season has finished, we're going to be seeing the start of some major works taking place over here along the waterfront, and we're talking about this whole square area, which is in between Blackbeard's Beach Bar and Grill and also Oceans as well. Now, normally whenever we have works starting over here in Mallorca, they save it till out of season until after the 31st of October. But this, I do believe, is not going to be the case, and I think we're going to start to see the workmen appearing within the next few days. Now, some of the businesses around here have actually been warned that these works are going to be taking place. They're going to be replacing basically the concrete that you can see in front of me. They're going to be replacing the flooring over here in the square, and that is in order as well to get it done in time for next season, which isn't great if you're still coming over here on holiday. If you've been following the channel as well, you will well know that they've been updating the beach bars and constructing brand new beach bars over on Alcudia Beach, and they actually started the construction of those right at the beginning of this holiday season for 2024. But they couldn't wait either to get these works underway over here on Magaluf Beach. Now, I have emailed the council. I've asked them several questions about exactly what's being done and also why they're starting the works now as well and not waiting until later on in the season. But most of all, I want to know how it's going to affect you guys coming over here on holiday, whether it's going to mean the early closure of the businesses over here, or indeed if it's going to affect your experience on the beach too. So stay tuned for that information. I'll bring you an update as soon as I get an email from Calvia Council. I'll bring you that update video. Okay everyone, I hope this information has proved useful. Consider subscribing if you haven't done so already, and don't forget you can find me in the Facebook group and on my Instagram, also called Mallorca Under the Sun. I'll be back here next week for another update from over here on the islands, but in the meantime expect to catch all my content coming out from over here in Mallorca throughout the course of the week, and of course I'm going to be in lots of other different resorts as well. Thanks very much for watching everyone, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Goodbye for now.